Hello, hello, hello. Tamira Hamilton here. I blog about the business of beauty. And today is Tuesday, and it's going to be a mass day. It's a huge day of content creation for me. Batching a lot of content today. A lot of content today. So, while I'm doing that and taking a little break to mask, I'm just going to share some things that have been on my mind, because I am human. That means I have an opinion, and opinions are like buttholes, and everybody has one, right? Oh my God, this is so cold. This is so cold. I just cleansed, exfoliated, put on serum, and now I'm going to lock it all in with this mask. And so, I follow some hashtags related to my main affiliate program that I am a brand partner and actually a strong leader in, a founding leader in. And last night I saw that an anti-MLM account, their recent post was what people like myself who are associated with this company are either lying to you or what we're not telling you when we post. And one of the first points was that you don't actually own a business. You are a 1099. So as someone with 30 years of sales, marketing, management, leadership experience, master's degree in business administration, master's degree in finance, master's degree in marketing, emphasis on those two things. And here's what I can tell you. And this is someone who, like I said, has 30 years of business experience, because she went on to talk about, and they all say this, and it sounds great to the untrained eye, to the untrained ear, and I'm going to break it down for you. So she broke it down that it's really only for tax purposes, but you don't own a business. These people are so hung up on creating their own reality to justify why it didn't work for them or a loved one. And I am not going to sit here and lie to you. I, was taught to value education. My sister and I both not only graduated high school, we went all the way to master's degrees. My brother, who is physically disabled, got his high school diploma, and I believe he even has an associate degree. Every single one of my siblings has not only graduated high school, we have also either immediately from high school at some point in life, we went back and got our formal degrees, okay? So we value education, right? The generation before us really put that in us to really value education. I can also tell you that not one of my children or any of my nieces or nephews at this point in time have graduated from college, and that's okay, because as my oldest daughter said to me, college ain't for everybody, right? Now, I raised them to go to college, and I prepared them to go to college. She went to college, and she dropped out, and not because she had a baby. She dropped out because she said it just wasn't for her. She went to a larger university here in town, actually not far from where we live, and I paid for her to go to the dorms and everything to have that experience. And then she went to a smaller, more women-focused college, and she still concluded that it wasn't for her. I'm not mad about it. I'm not upset about it. I mean, she's now 30, but with 2 kids, but that is her life. That is her decision. But I don't go around and I don't say that, oh, college is a scam. Well, I do, but not for that reason. It's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. And there are people that it's for, and there are people. And here's the thing. It was for me. Okay? Do I enjoy having had all that debt? No. But at the end of the day, I learned a great amount, and it's what makes me who I am today and makes me the badass businesswoman and marketer that I am today, okay? So I don't regret it. I've always said that I do not regret having my education at all, right? It's no secret that Black women are the most educated demographic in this country. We value education, but it's not for everybody. So I don't go start an account because my daughter, both of them decided that college wasn't for them and talk about it being a scam. Now, what's the scam part is having to take all the loans in that. That's the scam part, but the education itself is not a scam, right? So I say all that to say you got to be careful who you're listening to, because just because somebody believes it and they believe it really strongly does not mean that it's true. Because here's the thing, I'm going to break this down for you as far as whether or not you have a business. There is an entity called a sole proprietorship, okay? There's an entity called a sole proprietorship. That means that you as an individual can own a business without being a corporation, without being an LLC. So I'm saying that because some people feel that, oh, because you start the LLC and that's for tax purposes, either it justifies you having a business or it doesn't justify you having a business. The fact that you have said, I'm starting this business, and part of what this business is I sell these products and I grow a team, makes it a business. Point blank, period, end of discussion. Period, end of discussion. Who are these people that they get to define what it means if you are a business or not? This idea of what a business is, because you're not some big Fortune 500 company, because you're not a brick and mortar business, does not mean that you are not a business. It just means that those people think too small. And that, by the way, and they have a scarcity mindset. That, by the way, is why they failed. Because they have such a scarcity mindset, because they are fearful, and now they're putting that fear and transferring that fear to other people. Okay? There's no such thing as you're not a business. Let me tell you, the vast majority of businesses in the United States at one point were small mom and pop sole proprietor businesses. Look it up. They were your corner store. They were your dry cleaner. They were your grocery store before these large corporations like, the Amazons and the Krogers and the Microsofts and all these bigger corporations, Walmart, began to take over our neighborhoods. They were small, local, independently owned sole proprietors, okay? You can be a sole proprietor and have a business, and you don't have to have employees or any of these things that these people are telling you. They are trying to define what it is to have a business. Now, here's what I'm going to say. The problem is most people don't actually treat it like a business. They treat it like a hobby. They treat it like a hobby. Now, you can look, I'm not a tax preparer or anything, or a tax consultant, advisor, professional. You can look all this up, right? There is a great book called How to Lower Your Taxes Big Time by Sandy Bakken. He's a former IRS person, right? I'm not saying it's even advisable to be a sole proprietor or an LLC. That's beyond the scope of this chit chat with me right now. It literally, it just boils my bunny that these people are trying to tell you, whether you are not a business or not, that you are a 1099 contractor. They have no idea how business really works, and how a lot of these larger corporations have subcontracted out to smaller organizations that are businesses. Okay, so you may or may not know this about me, but I interned at S.C. Johnson, now called a family company. Back then it was S.C. Johnson Wax. They're headquartered in my hometown of Little Old Racine, Wisconsin, and I had the privilege of being a paid intern there right out of high school, like 2 weeks out of high school with a 3-month-old. I was interning at S.C. Johnson Wax. Now, this was back in the 1900s, as some people say, like 30 years ago, because my oldest is now 30. And Glade, okay, so I worked on Glade that first summer, and back then I think it was still aerosol. I'm not sure the makeup of all of that now, okay. There was a canning company locally that provided all of the cans for Glade, okay? That is a supplier relationship. That is a contract. So are we saying that that supplier was not a business? That doesn't make sense because they're not the actual name on the can. That makes zero sense, right? That makes zero sense because that's essentially what their argument is. Because this quartz roller does not have my name on it, just because I sell it doesn't make me a business. That is only for tax purposes. Well, I'll tell you what, and I learned this back when I was an insurance agent, and it was the business, and they made you treat it like a business, okay? Because that was also 1099, so is real estate agent, okay? And they make you treat it like a business, okay? See, that this runs a lot deeper than what these idiots, these fools are telling you. In what I learned at a tax seminar, because they would bring in tax people because they wanted you to treat it like a business. And one of the things I learned very early on was the W-2 employee, they said, I'm quoting, gets 3 tax breaks. As a sole proprietor, as an LLC, as a corporation, you get so many more. Even if you only got 9, you tripled your tax breaks, okay? There's so many more tax breaks and tax advantages to being that 1099. You're not an employee. You're not an employee. So if you're not an employee, you're a contractor or a freelancer, that's still a business. And it would behoove you to treat it like a business. You are providing a service provider, okay? So when an accountant, I remember my favorite accountant, he passed away, he had cancer years ago, who used to do my taxes way back when I was still in college. He did everybody in my family's taxes. We would take our taxes to him. It was a 2-man shop, him and his wife. Now they were probably, they probably weren't a sole proprietor, because usually there's some liability when you do people's taxes and things like that. So they were at the very least LLC or S Corp or C Corp. And you can look up all of these business entities on websites like Investopedia. And so is he not a business though? Because all he's doing is collecting a fee for doing people's taxes. You wouldn't say that. So this is just haterism. By the way, this person, right in their description was, you feel free to make a donation. You're not a charity. You're not a charity. Why are people making donations? Why are you asking people for donations? You're not a charity. So are you understanding the grift here? Do you see the grift? This is nothing but a grift, okay? I'm going to get ready to go and leave you with this. Here's the thing. Everybody says what you think about, you bring about. I don't think it's that, because I think people know how to think. I think people have lost the art of learning how to think for themselves. And that is why they aren't bringing about the things that they want, because they are listening to too many disturbing disinformation, misinformation filled messages out there, okay? What I really think is, my quote would be, what you imagine is what creates your reality. And because of these people's lack of imagination and creativity, they want to, that's the scarcity mindset, they want to lock you in and tell you who you are and who you aren't, and what you are and what you aren't. Who are they? You have to ask yourself, who are they to tell you? Who are they to make the rules? Who are they to define? What qualifies them? What makes them a credible source? What makes them the authority? What makes them the expert? Not a goddamn thing. Not a thing. Other than their hatred-fueled grift. Because that's all it is at the end of the day. It is a grift. And I'm getting sick and tired of it. Sick and tired of it, because they lack imagination. So don't let their lack of imagination stifle your imagination, because the businesses of tomorrow aren't even in creation today. Things like Uber, things like DoorDash, things like Freshly, HelloFresh, those did not exist 15, 20 years ago, but somebody had to have the imagination to create them. Walt Disney World. He never, I remember a quote about him. Somebody said, "Oh, Walt would have loved to see this," and his wife was like, "He already did. That's how it even became to existence, because he imagined it." Right? So you have to look at this opportunity as just that. It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning. It's actually how a lot of people learn to actually create businesses and go on to create insane businesses for themselves. I know a girl who created her own collagen brand, and it is doing very well online. I've seen people go on and create internet marketing companies worth hundreds of millions of dollars that started with this business model. So if you let those people tell you who you are and what you can and cannot do, they may not only be stopping you from, the skincares, they may also be stopping you from creating the thing that starting this business can turn into for you, right? There are people who are estheticians, who are makeup artists, who take an opportunity like this and they align it with their existing business. So this idea that you're not a business and it's only for tax purposes is straight up BS. And let me tell you, as someone who's not a makeup artist, who's not an esthetician, I became a contracted trainer. So I not only was, with my previous company, not only contracted to actually sell the product and build a team licensed, I also became a contracted trainer, meaning I was able to create trainings and go around the country. You've seen a lot of the videos on my profile on Instagram and TikTok of me traveling to all these places and experiencing things and creating the life that I dreamed of, being able to have my life and business merged together as one. I don't know why that scares these people, but it does, right? I created blogs and monetized the blogs through this opportunity. So don't let these people deter you because they think too small. They have no imagination. Right? They have no imagination. They have no ability. They have no vision. And where there is no vision, the people perish. Y'all got me preaching now. I need to go because y'all know I don't like to get preachy, and I can. It's in my DNA. Right? But look at that glow. Look at that glow. But there is nothing wrong with, even if you just sell the products. Sell the products. Dexter Yeager, I've followed him for years. One of my favorite motivational speeches comes from Dexter Yeager, who was the top dog at Amway. Like 80% of Amway revenue was generated under him. He was like the biggest leg. He, I believe he died with a net worth of like $1 billion because he died a year or two ago in January. I heard another leader in the industry say this, that his family gets paid $600 million a month from this thing that these hood rats, these scoundrels, these thugs, these grifts are trying to convince you that it's not a business. You got to ask yourself, why are they working so hard to keep you from doing it? You got to ask yourself, why are they working so hard, right? Why is the devil working so hard? Because that's literally what they are. Why are they working so hard to keep you from this? Think about that. What is it that this can do for you that they got to work so hard to keep you from doing it? To keep others from doing it? Why is it that they feel so strongly and so hateful? And not that makes it true. But what happened to them? Like, who did you wrong, boo? Who did you wrong? That's it. I'm out. If you want to learn more about the opportunity and partnering with me, just comment below. Hit me in the DM. We got some great specials going on. I'm more than happy to help you because I've got the imagination. I've got the vision. I've got the proof. I've got the receipts. They're lying to you. And you got to ask yourself why.